does body count really matter?
So, I'll put it like this. Yeah. It matters.
Why?
Well, it matters for this reason. If you are an experienced male in these streets, it all depends on how experienced or inexperienced the male is. Right?
Okay.
So if you're an inexperienced male and you find the person for you that has a higher body count, not necessarily than you, but a body count that's a body count, like she was out there murdering some things.
What's that murder body count?
15 plus.
Okay.
Right? 15, we'll say 30
Dude, but
plus.
think about it. Women
we'll say 30 plus.
But if you think about it, even though women are having a lot of sex, they might not be having satisfying sex.
Okay, that's absolutely ridiculous, bro. That's absolutely ridiculous.
How?
Because if you didn't hear, my lady just laughed as you said that.
All right, go.
The reason why is, what is satisfying? Are you talking about orgasm? Okay, sure. But like, women don't necessarily lock into orgasms the way men do.
How?
They have a completely different...
Kiana, how?
I mean, I guess the question is about body count. So if you're talking about a woman that has a large body count, then sex doesn't have the same meaning like it would if we're talking about like
the inexperienced man.
Intimacy and connection.
Oh, so you're saying more like you have to be at the same level of body count.
Yes, or similar. Because if you step out there, let's say you got 10, and you think 10 is killing it, right?
Yeah,
you got 10, and she's got 35, 40. And at this point, at like 20, she was over intimacy. So now it's something different for her.
Oh, like something different's going to connect her with you.
Something, well, she's not connecting to you off of sex. It's something else that draws that thing in. So you may be going into sex for intimacy. She can care less about intimacy. She's still going to get off. She's still going to have an orgasm, but not in the ways that you think she will. So then what happens is that you guys have to learn each other in such a way where intimacy becomes mutual for the two of you. That shit may take some time. And you may not have that time to put in the work that's going to be required.
There's a lot of other issues that will come up.
A lot of other issues.
Because of the body count being different.
Let's be real. How many of us have seen real sex as a kid? Not you, because you're still thinking about it. You, not you, because you've been thinking about it. All right, then I'll speak for the rest of us who know what real sex is on HBO.
Please.
Cheers to the
Oh,
the
you're
kids.
talking about the HBO show.
Oh, now he knows.
I
yes.
still don't.
I didn't watch. I mean, I watched Showtime.
Oh, this guy was bougie. So
it was the 3-day free trial that they would have like once every 3 months. That's when I would watch porn.
Well, I would have to watch it at my grandmother's house because we never had cable in the basement, and it was always some wild stuff going on. And it was always the same shows from like the 80s, even in the 90s. But anyhow, there's only like 6 different types of penises, or maybe 12 to give it an extra kick, right? And there's only 12 types of vaginas.
Dude, please expand on that. Like, I need to hear.
No, I'm not lying. You got Google right next to you.
Okay. So you mean
right?
just like
everybody listening, Google
size, girth, length,
okay.
depth, all of that. There's only 12 different. It's only 6 to 12 different types of penises. There's only 6 to 12 different types of vaginas that exist in this world.
Okay.
So, if you out there smashing a lot, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see more of those than not. The less times you have sex, you may only see like 1, 2, 3, 4 of those things. The more sex you have, the more opportunities you run into all 12. Now, let's say you run into all 12, whether you're male or female.
Damn.
You can give a damn about what a penis look like, or what a vagina feel like. You've already felt them all. You've already seen them all. So now it's a little bit different. I'm not crazy. Google this stuff. It exists. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to add real quick, because I feel like a lot of like the body count is the male ego. Like we just feel like, oh, all these other guys have been inside you. But what it is when a woman's the most intimate with a guy, that's when she has the best sex, and that's also when the guy has the best sex.
I don't know if that's true. Some women, okay. Some women have been pissed on. Some women have been walked on like dog leashes and all kind of stuff like that. This is like, since we're talking about sex, these are things that have actually happened, right?
Yeah.
And the more opportunity the more sex you have, the more likely you're going to be doing some more freakier things.
That's true.
So, now you've been with somebody whose body count is extra high. They probably been walked on the leash or pissed on just to see what it is. Now you're going to connect with this person.
You're trying to have some
You're trying to
missionary.
You're trying to fucking throw roses in the air and let that shit fall as you have sex. And she's like, motherfucker, I've been walked on a leash. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a completely different vibe, dog. So yes, body counts matter. If you want to connect intimacy, you probably want to stay within a ballpark that works for the both of you.
So the same, you have to be in the same range with each other
for y'all. You know what I mean?
Well, that's interesting.
Ooh.
Please, I really want to hear what Count has to say, because it's like sex is different for men and women. Like,
well, when Mark and I first started dating, that was like legit one of his questions to me. Was like,
how early into the relationship?
Not 6 or 7 months.
Early.
Like very early. Like we hadn't had sex. But
She wasn't
like,
walked on no leash.
Bruh. Like we hadn't had sex or anything. But that was one of the questions. It was like, what was my body count? And I was like really taken back by that, because it was just a super direct, like, what are your numbers type of thing. And then I remember being very self-conscious. Like, if I go too low, is he not going to believe me? If I tell the truth, am I a hoe? Like, I started like
that's true.
questioning like myself and like what. And so I chose to be honest, because I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna work out. I told the truth, and he laughed like, oh, we Gucci, we good, like, wow,
Gucci,
you know. And I was just kind of like, okay. But when he gave me his number, it's like 3-4 times, 5 times, 6 times higher.
Now she making me seem like a male prostitute.
You was really out here in these streets. And so like now the question is, does the body count matter, right? On my end as a woman, because now, like he just said, he's been around the block. So like, how can I ever sexually perform when you've got 32 different comparisons? That's not the real number.
But I never walked a female on a leash. I never golden shower a female or nothing extra crazy that.
Mark, that goes back to what you're saying. Like, if the numbers are so different, then how does it not matter, you know?
Like, what sets me apart?
What sets you apart is that I never lost track of who I was in the process.
So then why did it matter to ask me?
Because you could have lost track. I've been with people who lost track of who they were.
So you feel like you had been with enough that you understood sex well enough that you'd be able to tell based off of what she was saying whether she had lost track or not.
Yeah, it would be based off of her numbers and certain things she was into sexually that would say, okay, she's not in tune to intimacy anymore. And if she wasn't in tune to intimacy anymore, then I don't know if I could hold on to that.
And I think for me, after we had that conversation and there was such a large discrepancy between like my numbers and his numbers. Gosh. No. I think for me, the question was, does that really matter? And to be honest, I could care less about your numbers, but way more about your sexual health. So it turned into we both need to get tested before
I got tested
we meet, like
in the snow.
Present those papers to me when I see you if we are going to engage in that. And it was like hanging on his wall like a little plaque. But I mean, because the thing is like you could have one number and get HIV. So like if your body count is what you're going to base things on, you know, the real question is, what does your sexual health look like with that? Because, you know, if
that's how you look at it.
Yeah.
It's really like, what's your sexual health?
Yeah.
I need to know both.
Well,
But-
both are important, but
Both
if
are
you
important.
have a large body count, then I really need to know that. That's going to make a determination about whether I stay than your body count. Because if you got a whole bunch of experience, maybe you could teach me some shit. I'm down.
I see that.
Very true. Very true. And sexual health is always key. It's more so, again, man, if you are into intimacy and you cherish that thing,
Oh, so what you think of sex is how you look at body count.
for me,
Okay.
That makes really good sense.
for me.
Yeah.
So I've been in situations where intimacy was not on the receiving end. That wasn't even part of the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was for me. And so, there's a couple of things they say you got to have in a relationship. Sex, money, and what is it, politics or something like that? Inside of a relationship,
Okay.
Sex, money, and something else. I forget the third thing. So if the money's solid, but the sex is off, somebody might, venture off.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I was concerned about those things because I experienced those things. And it doesn't feel good to have to experience certain things, man. So, I prefer intimacy. I have intimacy. I cherish that. I believe that those things get lost over time with the body count.
In your early sexual experiences, were you looking more for intimacy and then intimacy died off as
No.
you kept on sleeping with more women?
No. When I was a young man, I was a young man.
Okay.
I didn't even know what intimacy was. You know what I mean? I was like just doing stuff because that's what you were supposed to be doing. So I did it. And then over time, it just became,
So it's really just like a view of how you both have to see sex in the same way.
yeah.
And then body count only matters if it's affecting the way you see sex.
Yes. Like some guys could deal with a female that they consider a whore, and some guys can't, right? Some guys can care less about it. Some guys care, right?
That's what
So it all depends on, like, the guy who can care less probably has experienced things in his life where he can identify to certain things. A guy who cares probably hasn't experienced certain things in life that would make him care, or he has been the guy who has hurt women in such a way where he doesn't want to be hurt by a woman like that. Let's say you had her on a leash. I'm not saying that you did, but let's just say, and the other guy was like, I would never put you on a leash. I honor you. And right? And then she was like, you were number 3, now you're number 33. Right?
Fuck.
And so
Well, the crazy thing is 33 could have been the first person, but as you experience more things, they just keep knocking down. And
Right.
Like you're at
So-
the top of that list, but y'all don't talk no more. And she may have had other experiences, and now you're in the middle.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I might be number 3 now on that list.
He
right.
said 3. I said the bone.
Hey, don't shoot my ego too much.
So I'm just saying that those things, like, I'm just saying that it matters. I'll say it this way. It doesn't matter if you out there and you getting yours.
Go get tested.
Go get tested.
Sexual health is well.